Hello, Internet, and welcome back to one final episode of SnowCraft, modded Minecraft Let's Play Survival Series. Don't despair, though, we do have one final project left, and that is to explore the asteroid belt that we've got here. To explore the asteroids here. So yeah, basically what we want to do here is we're going to do essentially the same thing that we've been doing all over the place. We're going to set up ourselves a little outpost, and then we'll do some exploring. We can take a look at this guy right over here. This actually looks really cool. I'm kind of curious what some of these blocks are that they've got over here. So we're going to go over and check that out. But first, we are going to make ourselves a base. And I think what I want to do, I want to do something that I've done in Space Engineers a lot, which is build myself a base inside of an asteroid. So I just need to get over there. And I think the best way to do that, since apparently there is gravity here, and I didn't realize that. Aha, slime sling to the rescue. All right, let's get myself positioned where I'm not going to crash into something. That ought to do. Might be a bad idea. That was a bad idea, but we can get back over here. Okay, well then we can do a two-parter. So we'll go over here. Let's see if this works. And then grapple. Oh, hello, monsters. I claim this asteroid. Mine now. Here, I'll plant my flag. Mine now. I guess we're too far away from the sun for them to burn in the sunlight. Okay, well, that was fun. Another creeper over there. Alright, cool. I have defended myself from the monsters successfully. So, what I really want to do is I want to go in kind of through the side, but I don't think that's going to be possible. Yeah, actually, this would have made a good... I thought that was a cow. Like from here, it kind of looks like a cow. Alright, anyway. And now basically we're just going to like dig ourselves out a nice, decent sized room right here. And then we'll get everything set up. Alright, now that we've got a space, let's go ahead and get ourselves set up a little bit. We'll go ahead and drop the waystone. Asteroids. Not the video game, though. Different kind of video game. Couple more things that we got to do, so we're going to need a couple of these. Couple of those. Oh, one thing that I probably should mention, there is a fluid version of the peer-to-peer tunnel. So you could actually have this set up without using an ender tank. Instead of using an ender tank, you could just have another peer-to-peer tunnel with a fluid set up for fluid, and then have that running out to provide oxygen for your O2 systems. You don't have to use the ender tank to be able to transfer fluids across dimensions. And there we go. Now we have ourselves a little cave here that's full of oxygen, and we can breathe in. I just need what's left for the outside, and then we won't have to worry about losing air when we go in and out. A little bit easier than the other options. And I do realize that like it probably would have made sense to do something similar to this for Venus. You know, dig into the side of a mountain, because I think we even had a mountain right next to where we built So we could have just dug into the mountain right there and put our system right there, and we wouldn't have had to have. Well, I mean, it still would have ended up being the same. Anyway, but a little bit easier. Could have been a little bit easier, is what I'm trying to say. I just tend to do things the hard way. The hell was that? How did you get up here? Aside from the fact that I'm standing right here, there's also the mega torch that's right here. Huh. Alright, whatever. We're gonna go ahead and go down over there and check out the space station looking thing over there. Guess we just go. Oh, the elytra does work. Sometimes. We got arc lamps, we got walkways. Looks like whoever built this had kind of the same idea I did, where they built it into a asteroid. We've got some kind of glass that Walia doesn't want to tell me about. And a great big airlock. There's no controller on this, though. Bacterial sludge. Yeah, we're going to leave that alone. A launch pad with a cargo loader in it. Oh, check it out. That is a lot of poisonous potatoes. I guess they've been sitting in here for too long. I guess these have all just gone bad. Alright, well, this is boring. Wait, there's an upstairs. How do we get upstairs? I would like in. Oh, that's how we get up here. So what do the levers do? Nothing. Okay, well, this is boring. I guess this is another instance where a mod pack designer, somebody who's really good at building mods, could probably build something pretty cool. And probably use one of these structures as a base, but that's not me, so. No! Well, I guess we find out what happens if we die in here. Because I can't get back up. Alright, well, that was annoying. Yeah, so important note, don't fall off the asteroids. Don't fall off, it's not good. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot here. I'm guessing there's probably more of those asteroid bases out there, but they're not really that interesting. So, and especially for this being a end tier area, like this requires a tier 4 rocket to get to, or tier 3, whatever the last one is, it requires that to get here. If you could get here with an earlier rocket, then that would be a good source of resources for you, but having it require you to go all the way to the end of the rocket chain and then get back here to get here doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So with that done, that's pretty much all of the projects that I have intended here for this mod pack. So we'll go ahead and take a quick tour around of the various things that we've built. Obviously, the first one here being this very simple little cave that we've dug into an asteroid here in the asteroids. So we'll just basically going to work our way backwards, and we'll end up back at home. See you guys on. All right, and then of course here on Venus, we built a, should be pretty familiar for everybody. We built this pretty recently. The very industrial little building. Our little industrial little box that we built here. And yeah, we could have dug it into the side of this mountain instead of building it freestanding like this. But it works out one way or the other. It's fine. And then of course I built a space station. This is what I was expecting the asteroids to work like where you just kind of float away. So we've got our various individual rooms. Room over here that's full of nothing. My little greenhouse, I guess you'd call it, with the trees in it that are producing some oxygen for us to send back down to the overworld, which we really don't need it. Like I said before, this is one of those areas that I think would probably be really cool to use in a mod pack, where you start off up here in a space station and then you have to figure out how to get back down to the overworld and how to build and make sure that everything here is survivable so that your oxygen isn't running out and all of that kind of thing. But it would take somebody much more talented with mod pack design than I am to be able to do something like that. And of course we have our house here on Mars. Pretty much the second of the more traditional houses that I built. Take a look at it from the outside. You can see that I used a different design for the roof. This one goes straight up to a point right in the middle, but otherwise it's very similar to the other houses that we've built. Also built this out of acacia so that it would blend in, or at least not really blend in, but at least fit in with the Mars red planet theme. And then up next we have the moon, which is the first of these houses that I built. Yep. And this one has the path going out front as well as the nice peaked roof, which I actually really like the roof on this house. Even though it does kind of do a little bit of a strange thing right there, I still kind of like the way it looks. We've got some good windows on there, and of course we leave our footprints all over the place. They don't stick around like they should. Footprints on the moon should never go away because there isn't enough wind to blow them away. But it's not really, gameplay versus realism. There are, of course, 2 other dimensions that are available to us, but we really didn't build anything in either the End or the Nether. I had intended to do some kind of a shrine type deal with the portal in the Nether to kind of echo and reflect the one that we built here in the overworld. But I just never came up with a design that I was really super happy with. So it never ended up happening. But hey, that gives you guys something that you can do. If you get your hands on this world download, you can do that, or you can, and I highly encourage you to do it on your own. All right, so continuing our theme of working our way backwards, we have the factory, which is where all of my fun creations originate from. And of course, inside the factory, you guys have seen this hundreds of times over the course of this series. We have all of my resources over here. Crafting terminal, we'll go ahead and just toss that in there. Everything's here. We've got our smeltery all set up. All of the resource generation going on over here, and as you can see, I've got some missing blocks. That's Applied Energistics likes to disappear on me. This design right here, if I were to do this again, I might actually end up going more with something like this rather than having the those guys running instead, then we'd probably end up going with something more like this. Of course, this is going to be a lot more expensive resource-wise to build than those assemblers are, but when you're generating resources for free, it's not really an issue. The downside, of course, is that we will run out of data channels, because if I want to do it like this, then I would want to have an import bus here pulling the items straight into the ME system rather than having it going out this way, and then it'll run out of data channels very quickly. So maybe we won't. I don't know. Something to think about for a future gameplay. Diesel production facility over here. It's still running, still producing diesel, even though our diesel generator is currently powered down. It is connected so that it is going straight into the energy core. So I could turn it on and run it, and the power would go right into the energy core, but there's really no reason to. The fusion generator is producing more than enough energy. But if we ever did have a situation where the fusion generator died or quit working or something like that, we could come down here and switch this on to give us a little bit more power. And of course, the fission reactor is still set up upstairs as well. And then over here we have all of our various machines. You guys can check out the various videos where I build each one of these and get them all set up. We set up the plastic production facility over here, and it was just kind of off in the middle of nowhere, and now it's right in the middle of everything. Our fusion crafter, on the one hand, I love the fusion crafter. I love the animation and everything, and the way that you can automate it with applied energistics is really cool. I just wish it didn't break so easily. It's so difficult to get this thing to automate in a way that actually works every time. And I think that's just something that Draconic Evolution would have to fix. I don't think that's something that you can do from either a player standpoint or a pack designer standpoint. I think that's something that the creator of Draconic Evolutions would have to fix. Our various presses back here. Didn't actually end up making use of these as much as I would have thought, but it still works out pretty well. And of course, the automated engineer's workbench. I probably should have built more than one of these. Instead, I just had to keep coming over here and switching between the various blueprints, but I didn't end up using them that much, so it was easy enough to just come over here and deal with that. My wireless charger here, or my wired charger here, this is how I charge up my crafting terminal when I need to. It's got so much power in it, though, that it's not really a big deal. And, of course, our crusher that we built right away. Here's the NASA workbench. All of your various NASA projects. Trees growing over here, they're glitched again, so that's fun. I think that might just be a visual glitch, but I'm not sure. Up on the second floor of the factory, this is basically our power generation floor. So we've got our fusion reactor over here. It's still running away just fine. In fact, if we head on over here to the core and take a look at it, we can see that we've reached a temperature change of 42 Kelvin per tick. Really close to that perfect temperature. It's off by just like a degree or two. Well, unit, I guess, because Kelvin isn't measured in degrees. But anyway, we're at 99.9% efficiency, which I think is the best efficiency you'll ever get. I don't think it'll ever actually reach 100. But like I said, that is producing way more power than we will ever need. We've got all of our hydrogen production over here, which I really don't need all this set up because I am maxed out on my hydrogen. And the reactor isn't drawing that much that quickly. So we could actually take quite a bit of this out and get it stepped back down. Power going in and out of the energy core. We'll have to go up there in just a second to deal with that. And then our fusion setup over here. I kind of set this up so now when this gets run, which it's obviously it's off right now. But when this gets run, it'll take the depleted pellets, and the depleted pellets will get put into the fuel reprocessor, which then breaks it down into its various components, which go in here. These then get pulled out and placed into the crafting, the assemblers here, where they then get turned into their larger forms, pulled out of there, and then put into here. And then this guy is set up to pull this out, goes into here, which turns it into thorium-232, which then gets put back into here and can then become the TBU fuel again. So there's a little bit of recycling going on there if you were looking at setting up a perpetual energy system yourself. You do lose some fuel, but each cycle, but it's enough that you can keep it going for quite a while. So we can come on over here to the energy core, and we can see that we are currently at 0% charge. Yeah, our 2.6 trillion RF isn't enough to make even a dent in the tier 8 energy core. And at the current charging rate, we have 37,000 years before this will charge, depending on what else is pulling power. We're not in any danger of running out of power over there. And of course the roof, you guys have seen the factory. If you want a more detailed look at, ow, there's a wall there. If you guys want a more detailed look at it, you can check out the video where I build the thing in its entirety. The office right here. I feel like I should have brought a crafting terminal in here and kind of turned that into the office into that area over there, but it just wasn't worth it, especially since I already had all that set up over there. And then, of course, the basement is where all of the cabling and automated crafters are set up. So we've got our crafting computers set up here. We've got our energy acceptor right there where all the power comes in for the ME system. Don't mind all the missing cables. They don't actually affect anything. They're mostly just visual. We've got our quantum link rings set up over here. Storage right there. And then over here, we've got some more machinery set up because I pretty much ran out of room on the upper floor. So this system over here, this is only to create calcium sulfate fluid. That's right. That whole setup right there was just built so we could get enough to make a fluid cow for the calcium sulfate solution, which is then being crystallized into the calcium sulfate powder that we then use for the crystal binder for the elite nuclear craft plating. Pain in the butt. And then right next to it, right here, we have something that's kind of similar where there's another little system that's set up, and this creates the boron crystals that I need for the elite tier solar panel. Galacticraft stuff right there. Not as much of a pain to automate as Draconic Evolution, interestingly enough. My fluid productions are right here, along with plenty of fluid storage for everything. And then, of course, the import mess for the trees. We've got some chickens. They don't need to be there, but I've never taken them down. So I just needed enough for some pink slime. And once we got the pink slime, I didn't get rid of them. The combat arena for Gaia. The beacon going again, because why not? All of our Botania production going on here. I still don't know why this broke. Like it should be working, but it's not. My Astral Sorcery Observatory, again, I'm really proud of this build. I really like the way that it turned out. It does look like something that would be part of Astral Sorcery. And obviously there's more to Astral Sorcery that we never finished exploring. There's a whole nother level of constellations that we never looked into. So that's something that you guys can do on your own. Or, you know, we might explore that in a future pack that has Astral Sorcery in it. My crates and shulker boxes full of rock crystals because these things suck so much. They're non-stackable items. Each one of them is unique. So even throwing them into like the junk drawer, they still won't stack unless they are precisely identical, and they basically aren't ever. All my astral sorcery stuff is still sitting in this blue shulker box right here. We've got our crafting table, and we've got our Starlight Infusion Altar. This is one that you could definitely automate the refilling of the Starlight, of the liquid Starlight around here, either using fluid formation planes, or there's some things in astral sorcery itself that will let you refill it. And then, of course, we have our Attunement Altar, which is a very large structure that kind of just takes up a bunch of space. A little bit of custom landscaping going on over here. If you remember, this used to be a mountain. I took the mountain down and put in a lake because I like it better that way. Then, of course, we have our Nether portal shrine right here. Again, I'd intended to do something on the other side. The idea that I had floating around was to use overworld blocks instead of all the, because like right here, these are all Nether blocks. So if I used overworld blocks instead to create kind of an echo, reflection of this shrine on the other side, I thought that could have looked pretty cool. But again, I'm pretty happy with this design. Could definitely be improved. Obviously, the fire on the top keeps going out, and I think that might just have to do with Future MC not being fully Minecraft, whatever you want to say. Like, it's just not, it's not all the way in there. We've got our little market stall here with our salesperson. The windmill tower, where we were getting our power from in the very beginning of the game. Still going, still generating some power for us, and actually still connected to the grid. So it is still actually generating some power. And of course, the waystone, way shrine, whatever you want to call it. My little garden here that I've set up, I actually set up an automated harvester here. So this guy right here is automatically harvesting these plants right here, which is mostly what I'm wanting is the tomato and the lettuce so that I can keep making these cheeseburgers. But there's a few other things here that it's harvesting as well. I did have to use the plant interactor because the actual plant harvester doesn't replant your crops. So it's mildly annoying. And of course, right here where I had my original mine, it is now a mob farm. And since we're using the extra utilities cursed earth, it's going like crazy. And if we head all the way down here to where the items are getting pulled in, we can see that it actually is connected to my ME system now. So everything that's going in here is visible to the ME system, which is why I have no Infinity Booster cards in here right now, because they are being exported into the factory. And the Liquid XP is not actually visible to the ME network because of how I've got it sliced off, but it's not really a big deal. We don't really need the Liquid XP anyway, so it's fine. And of course, last but certainly not least, we have the mansion. Really, really happy with this. This is definitely something that I'm going to be attempting to recreate in vanilla in the future. Probably not in any kind of a hardcore game, but maybe once 1.18 comes out, we'll be doing a vanilla playthrough. And I will be trying to recreate something similar to this. Obviously, there's going to be a lot that we won't be able to do. Like, we're not going to be able to have these big double doors like this. But a few things that we can definitely do. So, we've got some foxes. I did manage to find these guys, finally. I had to go out hunting for rabbit. And then, eventually, I came back and I found the foxes. But, yeah, they've just been here. They've been up here chilling this whole time. Keeping the parrot company. I've got my music disc collection. You can see I've got quite a few of these. And of course, there is another one coming out that was just announced today as of the recording of this video. We just found out that 1.18 is going to have another music disc, which would be pretty awesome. Yep, we got our dining room right here. Head on over this way, and we have our library. Bookshelves are full of various enchanted books. various enchanted books here. Some of them are useful, most of them are not, especially if you're using Tinker's Construct stuff. And then down here I have the enchanting setup. You know, our kitchen right in through here, which is, you know, of course, fully functional. We can actually make stuff. Grab ourselves a couple more cheeseburgers. Always good to keep your cheeseburger supply stock topped up. Crafting terminals here, so I have access to my system now since I've run cabling throughout my house. And of course, if we head on into here, we have our guest bedroom, whatever you want to call it, with, you know, the greatest table for D&D ever made. Think about how awesome table this would be to play D&D at, right? You got so much room, you got, like, it's huge. Let's see, we'll go downstairs next. So yeah, a little button right over here, and it opens up. Wow, that is laggy. Opens up our little secret stairwell, which lets us down into the basement, which now has kind of been taken over by ME cabling, as well as the actual wiring for that staircase. So you can kind of see how the ME system is all hooked up. The Megatorch stopping everything from spawning, and the tunnel that leads back over to the factory. Just dug for the ME cable to go to. You can actually see it there on the mini-map going all the way over to the factory. Button on this side to close the staircase if you need to. That actually came in handy when I dug that tunnel, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get up here. Upstairs, through the short hallway, we have my bedroom. Alright guys, so that about does it for me for this series. I really appreciate everybody joining me in my adventures here, and I hope you have some fun. Hopefully we'll figure out how to get you guys this pack in the future. If you do manage to get your hands on this world download, the armor and my items, baubles and everything will be right here waiting for you to venture out and find your own adventures here in this world, whether you decide to continue off from where I'm leaving off here, or you decide to start your own adventure in your own world. Whatever you choose, I hope it ends up going well for you, and that you have a marvelous time as I have here. This is not a sad day, though. We will be starting up a brand new series next week, which I'm very excited about. You'll find out more information about that next week, when the video goes live. But until then, I hope you guys have yourselves a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, whatever time of day it happens to be for you. I hope it's going well for you. I look forward to seeing you in the next series. And until then, have yourselves a wonderful time and happy Minecrafting. So long.